Dealerships are drowning in unsold trucks. Models that once dominated the road now sit untouched, with dealers slashing prices and begging buyers. Right now, a perfect storm is unfolding in the truck market. Rising prices, changing buyer habits, and unexpected manufacturing miscalculations have left dealerships stuck with a surplus of trucks that nobody wants. So, which pickups are being hit the hardest? Why are these once prized models now gathering rust instead of road miles? And most importantly, how can you leverage this situation to score an unbeatable deal? Stick around because we're diving into the 14 pickups that have fallen from grace and the shocking reasons behind their downfall. Honda Ridgeline. This was designed to be the perfect blend of comfort and utility, a truck that didn't drive like a truck. It offered a crossover smooth ride, an in-bed trunk for practical storage, and a cabin that felt more like a sport utility vehicle than a rugged pickup. Honda aimed to capture a niche market, people who needed a truck bed but didn't want the harsh ride associated with body-on-frame pickups. On paper, it made sense. Who wouldn't want a comfortable ride with just enough cargo space for weekend chores? Under the hood, the Ridgeline features a 3,500 cubic centimeter V6 engine, producing 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It is capable of towing around 2,500 pounds. Which sounds fine for light-duty tasks, but that's where the problems begin. Traditional truck buyers don't just want comfort. They want power, ruggedness, and the ability to haul heavy loads. The Ridgeline's unibody platform, which is typical of crossovers rather than true pickups, immediately sets it apart from the competition in the worst way. Truck enthusiasts often criticize the Ridgeline for not being a real truck. It lacks the off-road prowess, the heavy-duty towing capacity, and the sense of durability that truck purists demand. This perception has stuck around for years, hurting resale value and branding it as a pickup for people who don't actually want a pickup. Buyers looking for something more capable often walk past the Ridgeline without a second glance. Dealerships have noticed the hesitation. In response, they are offering 0% financing, free maintenance bundles, and accessory upgrades just to move units off the lot. Despite these incentives, buyers remain wary, viewing it as a truck trying to fit into a crossover's shoes. It is hard to find a place for the Ridgeline in a market dominated by trucks that emphasize power and endurance. If a model struggles because it confuses its identity, imagine what happens when the truck itself doesn't even exist anymore. We've scoured dealership reports, analyzed truck sales data, and broken down why these once popular pickups are now sitting unsold. Now you know which models to avoid and how to spot a bargain if you're in the market. If our deep dive saved you time and money, consider subscribing. Your support keeps us digging for the real story behind the numbers. Nissan Titan. It had one simple mission: to break through the dominance of American full-size trucks with a reliable, powerful, and affordably priced alternative. It came armed with a 5,600 cubic centimeter V8 engine delivering solid towing capacity and dependable performance. The idea was to take on the American giants and win, offering power and reliability without the hefty price tags of Ford or Ram. At first glance, it seemed like the Titan had all the right ingredients. However, Nissan quietly pulled the plug on the Titan in the year 2023. Discontinuation is a death sentence for any vehicle line. When word spread that the Titan was no longer being produced, confidence in the model evaporated overnight. Suddenly, questions arose about parts availability, service support, and long-term reliability. No one wants to invest in a truck that has already been laid to rest. As a result, the Titan quickly gained a new label, the zombie truck. It still runs, still appears on dealer lots, but in the minds of buyers, it is already buried. Comparing the Titan to Ford's base F150 only deepens the issue. While the Titan offered commendable power, it never quite matched the brand loyalty or iconic status of the F150. Moreover, buyers started calculating the risks associated with owning a discontinued model, including the plummeting resale value. The few who did consider purchasing the Titan found themselves confronted with dealers desperate to clear inventory, offering $5,000 incentives and extended warranties to ease concerns. Even then, it was not enough to overcome the perception of a dead truck walking. The Titan's downfall highlights the brutal reality of the truck market. When a model dies, it takes trust down with it, moving from a truck that buyers perceive as a ghost to one that tried to charge more just for a badge is quite a leap. But that's where the GMC Canyon comes in. GMC Canyon. GMC aimed high with the Canyon, positioning it as a more luxurious alternative in the mid-size truck segment. The idea was to take a proven platform, the Chevrolet Colorado, and elevate it with a touch of refinement and style. The Canyon boasts a 2,700 cubic centimeter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, delivering 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Those are respectable numbers, especially for a mid-size truck. On paper, the Canyon appeared poised to capture the upscale end of the segment. However, the reality is far from what GMC envisioned. Buyers quickly realized that underneath the chrome and upgraded materials, the Canyon was essentially the same truck as the Colorado. Both share the same chassis and powertrain. Yet the Canyon comes with a price tag that is $3,000 to $5,000 higher. That price gap feels unjustifiable to many buyers who see no significant performance or quality advantage. Car critics have not been kind either, often referring to the Canyon as a classic case of badge tax, paying more just because of the brand name. In a market where every dollar counts, that perception has proven hard to shake. Dealers now find themselves offering markdowns over $5,000 just to move the Canyon off their lots. Bundles that include accessories, maintenance plans, and extended financing are becoming the norm. Yet the reluctance persists. GMC wanted the Canyon to be a refined mid-sized truck that justified a premium price. Instead, it became an overpriced twin that no one asked for. When paying extra for looks doesn't work, what about sticking to old-fashioned reliability? That brings us to the Nissan Frontier. Nissan Frontier. It was once celebrated as a durable and straightforward mid-size pickup. Its reputation for tank-like reliability made it a favorite among buyers who wanted a truck that could take a beating and keep going. However, Nissan made a critical mistake. They left it unchanged for more than a decade. While Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet rolled out new designs and features, the Frontier remained stuck in the past. When Nissan finally introduced a redesigned Frontier in the year 2022, it was already too late. The market had moved on. The new model featured a 3,870 cubic centimeter V6 engine that produced 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. Despite these improvements, buyers were not impressed. Years of neglect had left a mark, and the truck felt like a relic compared to its modernized rivals. Sales numbers tell the story. Since the relaunch, interest has been lukewarm at best. Regional blowouts and 0% loans have become standard as dealerships struggle to move the once popular model. Nissan had hoped the Frontier would reclaim its place as a rugged workhorse, but the long gap between updates shattered that dream. The Frontier's story is a cautionary tale about how standing still can mean falling behind. While outdated models can fail hard, sometimes a truck refuses to ride off into the sunset. That is where the Ram Classic comes in. Ram Classic? Originally intended to phase out after the introduction of the new Ram 1500 in the year 2019, it has somehow survived as a low-cost alternative to its modern counterpart. On paper, the idea seemed reasonable. Keep an older model around for budget-conscious buyers. However, the execution left much to be desired. Inside, the Ram Classic feels like a time capsule. The interior features hard plastics, basic controls, and outdated screens that feel 2 generations behind. While the powertrains are still decent, a 3,650 cubic centimeter V6 engine with 305 horsepower, or an optional 5,700 cubic centimeter V8 with 395 horsepower. The overall package is underwhelming. Dealerships are offering deep discounts, often slicing more than $5,000 off the sticker price to make the truck seem appealing. Yet, inventory is piling up, with some lots reporting more than 175 days of unsold stock. The Ram Classic's persistence on dealer lots is a testament to how nostalgia can backfire. From stubborn survivors to ambitious experiments gone wrong, the next truck on our list had high hopes but a harsh reality. Introducing the F150 Lightning. Ford F150 Lightning. On paper, it was a knockout. Up to 580 horsepower, 775 pound-feet of torque, and the ability to tow up to 10,000 pounds, all while running on electric power. It was marketed as the next chapter in American trucks. Silent, powerful, and eco-friendly. Initially, the excitement was real. Early adopters were drawn to the promise of instant torque, and zero tailpipe emissions. Ford positioned it as the electric truck for the working class, offering real power without the guilt of a gas guzzler. Then reality hit, and it hit hard. One of the biggest issues: range. Ford boasted that the Lightning could travel up to 320 miles on a full charge, but hook up a trailer, load up the bed, or simply hit highway speeds, and that range crumbled. In some cases, it dropped to around 160 miles. For truck owners who depend on reliable long-distance towing, that was an unforgivable flaw. Another stumbling block was the price. A fully loaded Lightning easily crossed the $100,000 mark, even after federal incentives. This was simply too much for many buyers to justify, especially when traditional gas-powered alternatives cost significantly less. People looking for a practical work vehicle felt left out. The Lightning quickly went from the future of trucks to an expensive experiment. Dealerships are feeling the heat. Desperate to move inventory, they are offering discounts up to $15,000 and aggressive financing packages. Some dealers have even stopped ordering new units, as the ones they have are just sitting, collecting dust. For Ford, the Lightning was supposed to be a game changer, but instead it turned out to be a cautionary tale. The revolution stalled before it could even take off. If electrification can fail to capture truck buyers, what happens when a truck tries to justify a premium price without offering anything truly new? That brings us to the next model, GMC Sierra 1500. It promised more luxury, better materials, and a more upscale driving experience. On the surface, it seemed like a refined choice for those seeking both power and style. But underneath, it's essentially the same truck as the Chevrolet Silverado. Mechanically, the Sierra and Silverado shared the same chassis, powertrains, and configurations. The Sierra's added comfort features do not justify the $4,000 to $6,000 premium, leaving buyers feeling they are paying mostly for aesthetics. Meanwhile, competitors like the Ram 1500 offer genuinely upscale interiors, with real wood and premium leather that set a higher standard. Buyers see the Sierra as a dressed-up Silverado, and that disconnect is hurting sales. To clear inventory, dealers are offering steep discounts, 0% financing, and even service perks. Despite these efforts, the Sierra's style over substance approach just isn't resonating. When a luxury price tag can't hide an average truck, what happens when pure durability starts feeling outdated? Let's look at the Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Built tough and known for its durability, it earned a loyal following by being the no-nonsense truck that could handle job sites, towing, and everything in between. But as competitors have pushed forward with technology and comfort, the Silverado is starting to look stuck in the past. The last major redesign happened in the year 2019, and it shows. While rivals like the Ford F150 and Ram 1500 have introduced cabins that feel almost like luxury lounges, the Silverado remains rugged and plain. Hard plastics, outdated touchscreens, and a cabin layout that feels closer to the early 2000s than the mid-20s make it hard for buyers to justify the price. Even the higher trims, which can top $60,000, fail to deliver the premium experience that modern truck owners expect. Buyers have noticed the gap. Once considered the no-brainer choice for hard-working Americans, the Silverado now feels like it is playing catch-up. This perception shift has led to sales slipping, especially on the higher trims. Dealerships are responding with markdowns that can exceed $5,000, bundled service plans, and long-term financing to make the trucks more appealing. In a market where comfort and tech are now as important as strength and reliability, the Silverado's rough-and-ready charm is wearing thin. Reliable, yes. Built to last? Definitely. But today's truck buyers want more than just muscle. They want a ride that fits their lifestyle. That is where the Silverado is losing ground, and dealers know it. While Silverado struggles to modernize, some trucks lean hard into their rugged legacy. Let's take a look at one that truly embodies the spirit of off-road adventure: the Jeep Gladiator. Jeep Gladiator. It was bold, brash, and unapologetically rugged. Promising to be the ultimate off-road pickup, it looked like a hit on paper. But as more buyers took them home, reality set in. The Gladiator, while unstoppable on trails, is a headache on highways. On pavement, it just does not feel right. Steering is vague, the ride is jittery, and cabin noise is excessive. For people expecting a comfortable daily driver, it is a rude awakening. Despite its undeniable trail capabilities, most truck owners spend the majority of their time on roads, not rocks. The problem gets worse when you consider the price. Fully loaded, the Gladiator can cost over $50,000. A hefty price for something that only excels off-road. Buyers were initially charmed by the Wrangler DNA, but that enthusiasm faded as they realized how uncomfortable it was for daily use. Dealers are now scrambling to move unsold inventory, offering rebates, bundling off-road gear, and even cutting prices significantly. Some are offering special editions with free accessory packages just to make the deal more attractive. The Gladiator wanted to be the ultimate trail-ready pickup, but it turns out that most buyers just want a comfortable truck that can handle both city streets and dirt roads. The off-road purists love it, but mainstream buyers, not so much. If hardcore adventure trucks can fail to fit in, what about the middle ground? Let us see how the Ford Ranger fared when it tried to bridge the gap. Ford did a good job of marketing this as the perfect mid-sized truck. Small enough to handle city driving, but tough enough to tow, haul, and take on light off-road challenges. Equipped with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine delivering 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, it packs just enough punch to be practical without being overbearing. It seemed destined for success, especially in a world where mid-sized trucks are gaining traction. However, the Ranger's problem is not performance. Its positioning. Ford placed it right between the Maverick and the F-150, and that's where the identity crisis began. The Ford Maverick, with its compact size, affordable pricing, and hybrid efficiency, became an instant hit with budget-conscious buyers. On the other side, the Ford F-150, with its unmatched versatility and brand loyalty, continues to dominate the full-size market. Caught between these two giants, the Ranger has been overshadowed. Potential buyers looking for something affordable lean towards the Maverick. Those who want raw power and legacy stick with the F-150. That leaves the Ranger as a middle child, neither cheap enough nor powerful enough to stand out. Even though it offers good value on paper, its identity is simply too blurred to appeal to a distinct audience. Focus groups reveal that when asked to name Ford's most useful trucks, the Ranger rarely comes up, proving that it simply does not stand out in the lineup. Dealerships are fully aware of this perception issue. In an effort to make the Ranger more appealing, they have started bundling attractive incentives like free bed liners, trailer packages, and even extended financing terms. In some regions, buyers are being offered significant accessory bundles at no additional cost. Despite these efforts, the Ranger continues to gather dust on dealership lots. A sweet spot in theory, the Ranger in reality has become the forgotten Ford, stuck between its successful siblings. If having no identity spells doom, what happens when a truck tries to reinvent itself entirely? Enter the Toyota Tundra. Toyota Tundra. The heart of the Tundra's appeal has always been its naturally aspirated V8 engine, delivering consistent, no-nonsense power. That formula worked well, establishing the Tundra as a trusted companion for those who needed a durable and dependable full-size truck. However, everything changed when Toyota decided to overhaul the Tundra's DNA. In the year 2022, Toyota made the bold decision to replace the beloved V8 with a twin turbocharged hybrid V6. On paper, it looked like a massive leap into the future. 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque made it one of the most powerful trucks in its class. Additionally, it promised improved fuel efficiency and a higher towing capacity, seemingly checking every box for modern truck enthusiasts. But instead of celebrating the upgrade, loyal Tundra fans were put off. The hybrid's complexity, potential maintenance costs, and higher price alienated longtime buyers who valued simplicity. Consumer Reports raised concerns about long-term reliability, adding to the hesitation. Suddenly, the Tundra felt like a gamble, rather than a dependable workhorse. To lure back customers, dealerships are offering big discounts and loyalty rebates. Yet the Tundra's appeal remains lukewarm, as fans of the old model still feel disconnected. When a brand known for consistency changes too much, it risks losing trust. Chevrolet recently made a similar mistake with the Colorado. Chevrolet Colorado. They had big plans for the all-new Colorado, touting it as a rugged, tech-savvy mid-size truck that could dominate the segment. The redesign promised everything: bold new styling, off-road ready trims, and a powerful turbocharged four-cylinder engine. The numbers were impressive: 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, putting it on par with some full-size competitors. Yet, instead of celebrating a mid-size powerhouse, buyers were shocked by the price. The entry cost for the redesigned Colorado was significantly higher than its direct rivals, like the Toyota Tacoma and the Ford Ranger. Even loyal Chevrolet enthusiasts hesitated when they saw the inflated sticker prices. Despite the truck's technical upgrades, many wondered if the improvements truly justified the jump in cost. The result was swift and unforgiving. Dealerships stocked up on what they believed would be a hit, only to find buyers walking out as soon as they saw the numbers. Reports from dealership staff reveal a common theme: buyers loved the look and specs but balked at the price. Despite the fresh appeal, the market simply wasn't willing to pay luxury-level prices for a mid-size truck. To combat the slow sales, dealerships are aggressively pushing lease offers and cash bonuses. In some markets, buyers can find significant markdowns as dealers scramble to clear out excess inventory. Special financing deals are also being extended to make the Colorado more appealing. However, for many potential buyers, the damage has already been done. The perception of being overpriced is hard to shake. In the battle between innovation and affordability, Chevrolet lost sight of its core audience. A great truck priced out of its intended market is destined to fail. When your target audience feels betrayed, no amount of horsepower can win them back. But while Chevrolet stumbled by pricing too high, Ram found itself stuck by refusing to adapt fast enough, leading to the Ram 1500's current crisis. Ram 1500. It once redefined what a full-size truck could be. Renowned for its smooth ride, luxurious cabin, and upscale materials, it appealed to buyers who wanted power without sacrificing comfort. Real wood trim, oversized touchscreens, and leather seats made it feel more like an upscale sport utility vehicle than a workhorse pickup. However, as demand for full-size trucks cooled off in the year 2024, Ram made a critical error. Instead of scaling back production to match the market reality, they kept the factory lines running. By the time dealers realized the extent of the slowdown, their lots were overflowing with unsold Ram 1500s. In some areas, the supply exceeded 175 days' worth of inventory. The market had shifted, but Ram's production strategy didn't. While Ford and Chevrolet cut back, Ram flooded its dealerships. Buyers started to question whether the high price tags for premium trims were justified in an uncertain economy. Sales slowed dramatically, and suddenly, the once sought-after luxury truck was stuck in limbo. Now dealers are in full damage control. Record-high rebates, trade-in bonuses, and extended financing are all on the table as they attempt to clear the backlog. For buyers who want a luxury full-size truck at a discounted price, the Ram 1500 is now a bargain. However, the lesson is clear. Even the most beloved models can lose their luster if the market shifts faster than the production line can adjust. And finally, when even Ram struggles to keep up, how does America's most iconic truck fare? Let's talk about the Ford F-150. Ford F-150. Known for its rugged reliability, impressive towing capacity, and unmatched brand loyalty, it's been a staple on construction sites, family farms, and highways across the country. The F-150's success seemed unstoppable, with each new generation pushing the boundaries of what a full-size pickup could offer. The problem? Ford loaded the F-150 with luxury trims, tech-heavy features, and hybrid options, pushing fully loaded prices beyond $100,000. What was once a dependable workhorse now feels overly complex, leaving traditional truck buyers frustrated and hesitant. The shift from simplicity to luxury has made the F-150 feel out of reach and impractical for many. The numbers don't lie. Dealers are sitting on a growing inventory of unsold F-150s. In some states, the inventory turnover has slowed significantly, with days to sell stretching far beyond what Ford had anticipated. To clear the backlog, dealerships are offering unprecedented incentives, including discounts of over $10,000, loyalty bonuses, and even free maintenance packages. Despite these offers, buyers remain cautious, and the trucks continue to pile up. When America's favorite pickup becomes too fancy and too expensive, it's no longer the obvious choice it once was. The king of trucks is now on clearance, and the once unquestioned dominance of the F-150 is being challenged by both changing consumer demands and economic realities. So, which of these forsaken pickups would you actually take home if the price was right? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns on the automotive world.